Baglamukhi sadhana to control your enemies, and not only to control your enemies, nobody can defeat you in debate. So that was a goal. Nobody should defeat me in debate. And I did 36 lakh time of chanting that mantra. And I know what Baglamukhi did to me. When they say Baglamukhi controls your enemies, Baglamukhi, when I was doing the sadhana, around 10 or 12 lakhs when I reached, I could see that I was becoming angry like crazy. And that kind of anger I had never experienced in my life. Situations happened, and I started throwing my anger. And I am usually watchful, and I know I should not be angry. But anger was out of control. And I called my father and I said, I just want to be peaceful, but Baglamukhi sadhana is not making me peaceful. I'm getting very angry, and that anger I've never experienced like this in my life. I just want to do, I don't know what I will do with this. And the person who is making me angry, I sometimes feel like I'll destroy that person. That much anger I'm getting right now. And my father was, he started guiding. This is what you have to control. He's like, what do you think? That person whom you think is the external enemy, no, that person is not your enemy. The seeds of anger that you have stored inside you, that is your enemy. So Ma has created a situation that your best friend turns your enemy. And right now you want to just destroy, because you have the power to destroy. But understand, if you do one thing, all the sadhanas that you have done will go. This is what you have to control. The enemy is not outside. The enemy is inside. And Ma is only showing you that. She's trying to control that. When she says she controls the tongue, she's trying to control your tongue. Do not curse anybody. And that time I had realized, by that time, so many tantric sadhanas I have done, I realized that I got that siddhi of, if I say something, it will happen to anybody, good or bad. I realized that happened so many times. If I think something, it will happen. I was actually living in a very surreal world also. Time, I had forgotten what time is. I had like a lot of experiences. It's difficult to put in the world, but this experience was very powerful, where the anger started coming out. And I had to control. Like, it took me 3 days, first of all, for the anger to subside, and practicing forgiveness. And it took me at least a year to become normal and peaceful, and to be completely forgiving. So this happened. Then I said, I'm done with all this. These are called Ugra sadhanas. Ugra means ferocious. Baglamukhi is very ferocious. So I said, I'm done. I want peaceful sadhanas. I do not want any siddhis. I am not looking for anything like this. Siddhis are only confusing me. And I'm in a very different state of mind. I told Baba Bhutnath ji, I don't want this, please. Control everything. Because living in a surreal world, it disturbs everything. So that got controlled. And then I focused my mind on the Ekakshari. I said, Sri Vidya, Ekakshari I have to do. I will do the Ekakshari, because I wanted to experience the highest truth now, whatever it is. The Brahmi state, they say, the self-realization, they say, I want to experience that. No more asking for things. And as my father's guru had told, if anybody does the Ekakshari 32 lakh time, that mantra will awaken, you will experience spiritual awakening. So I said, okay, now there is no siddhi or anything I want. I will do that. And it is a very peaceful mantra. So I started doing that. So whole day morning, I used to sit in my backyard, and then full day morning I used to sit, and till evening I would keep chanting. After a while, you can't take the mala in that, because this is single syllable mantra. You can't use the mala. So I used to put the timer in the beginning for counting. And the counting goes on, and every day I started doing. And then slowly I started realizing how the energy was developing. And then still experiences are happening. But there is one mandir, there's one temple here, Laguna Beach Temple, where there is a Kali temple. So that day I went to the Kali temple, and me, my husband, my kids were small. and Kali Amma's Aarti was happening. The Kali temple that they have, it's established by a lady called Dr. Usha Harding or Elizabeth Harding. She has written a book on, so Elizabeth Harding, Laguna Beach Kali Temple. So it was just us, my family, and those pujaris there. They're all Americans. But very nicely they do puja. They went to India, they learned the puja from gurus there. So very, very nicely maintained temple, small temple. Usha Harding, she made her home as a temple. So while this Aarti was going on, that was my first experience of Kundalini rising. I had no idea. Like totally losing control over myself. I'm a very shy person. Publicly, I will not show any emotion. But I'm telling you, as if some power just captured. I'm looking at Kali Ma's Murti and some power just captured, rising from me. The entire body is like shaking, and I started crying. And that crying was out of control. I do not want to cry. I've never cried like this. But even if I want to be, I am not in my, I knew something is happening. And after some time, I lost external consciousness. My eyes are open, but I lost external consciousness. And after some time, I came into a semi-conscious state. My husband didn't know what happened. My kids are not knowing what happened. But the temple people, they understood. They brought me, they gave me water, they brought me back. And I was still semi-conscious. And I started saying things to them, which they were having in their minds. Something. Now I don't remember what the conversation was, but it happened. And after a while, I came back to normalcy. But when I got up, I was not able to walk. The current, the shock is so strong, like some jolt. Like in a drunk state, somehow I sat into the car, came home. For 3 days, I was in that state of, I cannot talk, I cannot do anything, even if I stand, I'll fall down. That experience. And after that, anytime, if something is happening, Bhagwan's name, Kirtan, Bhajan, sitting in the car, walking, if I think of God, this energy would rise. It's very difficult. So those things that, when people say I experience Kundalini, I was like, you have no idea what it does to you. And I wanted to be normal. I really wanted to be normal. Family members are okay. They understood. But others, they will not. I wanted to be normal. I started praying to Baba Bhutnath Ji. What is happening? Why am I getting into this state? Tell me. Because at one point, people will start advising, that some issue. Why don't you get checked with the doctor? But it is not that issue. People will give you advices. Go to check something is happening. I was like, no, this is not the issue. But I don't know how to put into words what is happening. I do not know what to do. I really don't know. When people start advising, go to the doctor, you're really confused. Should I really be going to the doctor to check? But no, it happens only when Bhagwan's name is being taken. When there is a kirtan, I started avoiding kirtan, bhajan and groups, mandirs, because it will happen anywhere.